In a state Donald Trump lost in November, voters returned to the polls to select 2 senators.
We're in the middle of a crisis where we're losing thousands of Americans per day.
The future of the country is on the ballot here in Georgia today.
The stakes are so high that Trump and Joe Biden both visited the state Monday.
One state can chart the course, not just for the next 4 years, but for the next generation.
Trump quickly veered off script and instead focused on his own election defeat.
People will remember the people that don't support us.
The outgoing president made more false claims about voter fraud and false promises that his loyal vice president, Mike Pence, could overturn the will of voters when Congress meets Wednesday to count the certified Electoral College votes.
I hope that our great vice president comes through for us. He's a great guy. Of course, if he doesn't come through, I won't like him quite as much.
By Tuesday, Trump had pivoted to make Pence the bad guy, tweeting, "The vice president has the power to reject fraudulently chosen electors." That's just not true.
Mike Pence has 0 constitutional power. He merely reads the count of electors. This is something that President Trump doesn't understand. He sees no option at this point but to go along.
And while some Republican members of Congress plan to raise objections, they don't have the votes to stop Biden from becoming president. In Washington, they're now bracing for potentially violent protests as Trump's angry supporters flood the streets to demand the election be overturned.
We said that the Proud Boys were...
The head of the far-right Proud Boys was arrested entering the city Tuesday, charged with firearms offenses that included carrying high-capacity magazines. Adding fuel to the fire, President Trump is already claiming voter fraud in that Georgia runoff election before all the votes have even been counted. And he's planning to speak to his own crowd of angry supporters outside the White House during Wednesday's protests. Robin?
Jackson Proskow in Washington.